EFF condemns 3.6 billion rand exam printing costs, accuses DA of eroding state capacity. The Economic Freedom Fighters EFF has condemned the reported 3.6 billion rand expenditure on printing matrix examination papers, accusing the Democratic Alliance DA of pushing a privatization agenda that erodes state capacity. According to the EFF, the increase in costs is a direct result of the DA's pushing for outsourcing critical government functions, which they argue undermines the role of the state in serving its people. In a statement, EFF spokesperson Leanne Murthy says the party expressed concerns that the decision to shift their responsibility for printing National Senior Certificates (NSC) exams from the Government Printing Works (GPW) to private companies would only benefit large corporations, primarily those controlled by white businesses. Murthy called the cost increase a deliberate weakening of the state, emphasizing that this trend would lead to privatization of essential services, leaving the government dependent on private companies focused on profit rather than public welfare. The figures presented by the EFF were drawn from the City Press article published on November 10th, which reported that the cost of printing matric exams had scored from under 1 billion rand to a staggering 3.6 billion rand. Murthy specifically pointed to provinces like Limpopo, where costs had jumped from 13 million to over 30 million, and Gauteng, where exam printing costs have doubled from 17 million to over 36 million. The effect argues that these figures represent the unnecessary burden of public purse on that one that doesn't improve services but simply fills the pockets of private corporations. In response, the Department of Basic Education (DBE) sought to clarify the actual breakdown of the 3.6 billion expenditure, which the department states is not solely attributed to the printing of question papers. Minister of Basic Education Siviwe Gwarube stated that the total cost covers a variety of examination-related processes, including setting and moderating question papers, transport, security, marking, and maintaining the examination system. The cost of printing question papers alone, according to the department, is approximately 220 million rand, far less than the 3.6 billion rand total that has been reported. The total estimated cost of administrator, the full examination for both full-time and part-time candidates is around 3.6 billion rand, but this is not just the cost of printing, Gwarube said. The cost includes the wide range of processes that are essential to the successful administration of the NSC exams. Gwarube further emphasized that there is no national directive requiring provinces to use the Government Printing Works (GPW) for the printing of exam papers, and provinces are free to choose their own service providers based on their specific needs and procurement processes. Gwarube also highlighted that the GPW, while a critical government service, currently lacks the capacity to print secure question papers for all 9 provinces. As a result, many provinces prefer to use in-house printing facilities that allow for closer management and oversight of the process. While the DBE has acknowledged the importance of exploring ways to increase the capacity of GPW, Gwarube stressed that this must be done in a way that ensures the security and reliability of the examination process, especially in light of the risks posed by centralizing printing at one location. The reality is that printing all national exam papers at one venue in Pretoria could pose a major risk, especially considering the security concerns and logistical challenges involved, Gwarube said. The department is in ongoing discussions with GPW to explore options for increasing its role in the printing of question papers, including looking into the digitization of the examination process. The controversy over privatization and the rising costs of printing matric exams comes at a time when the DA's policies in education are under scrutiny. The EFF has also criticized the DA-led Department of Basic Education for cuts to the education budget, which they claim has led to fewer teachers in classrooms, compromising the quality of education. Provincial education departments have experienced budget shortfalls due to national funds allocations that did not match nationally negotiated wage agreement for educators. Furthermore, the EFF points to the DA's failure to endorse the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill, which aims to address inequalities in education, particularly in relation to language and marginalization of African children. Helen Zille, federal chairperson of the DA, has been vocal about the party's commitment to private sector's involvement in public services. As the debate over privatization intensifies, the EFF has called for a comprehensive review of the decision to outsource the printing of exam papers, advocating for reinvestments in the GPW to restore its capacity to handle such critical government functions. The state must serve the people, not the interests of private capital, Murthy said. On the other hand, the president is just a toothless dog. MKP says SIU is Ramaphosa's tool. Umkhonto weSizwe MK Party has accused President Cyril Ramaphosa of using the Special Investigating Unit SIU as a tool to target and get rid of people after his administration has issued more proclamations than any other in the history of South Africa. MKP continues to claim that the presidency has not been able to adequately hold public officials responsible for corruption, making the institution appear helpless in ensuring that those involved receive the appropriate punishment. Since taking office in February 2018, Ramaphosa has made 135 proclamations that give the SIU the authority to look into state departments and entities that are alleged to have mismanaged taxpayers' monies. On Wednesday, the presidency briefed the Standing Committee on Public Accounts (SCOPA) to give up updates on how the SIU's recommendations are being implemented. About 276 proclamations have been issued since 2001, allowing the SIU to look into a variety of government departments, agencies, and municipalities. According to the presidency, 19 of the 33 proclamations published since the start of the 7th administration were issued in 2024, making it the year with most proclamations. However, MKP Davids has expressed doubts about the SIU's independence. According to Skosana, the SIU was seen as Ramaphosa's tool to eliminate people. Officials are not getting enough punishment, according to MKP's Talente Kubeka, with many merely getting written warnings. The presidency is just a toothless dog. If these would only be recommendations, Kubeka stressed it cannot be correct for the corrupt people to be sent to counseling. Meanwhile, the presidency declared that it is now working on establishing an offender registry to make sure that resigned personnel are identified if they try to re-enter the civil service. And lastly, gloves come off. Zuma is inviting me back to fight with him. I'm not scared, says Julius Malema. Economic Freedom Fighters EFF leader Julius Malema said he was not intimidated by former president and current Umkhonto weSizwe MK Party leader Jacob Zuma, adding that he is ready to fight. Malema was speaking on the party's podcast and the interview was made available. This is not the first time he is inviting me back to fight with him, and I'll do it. I'm not scared of Zuma or all of his people, he said. There is no way anyone is going to threaten the existence of the EFF and that person becomes a friend. That will be a lie. People keep stabbing you in the back, and when they meet you in public, they want to be smiling. Keep your distance, he added. Malema made the comments after some of his high-ranking members resigned and established membership with Zuma's MK party. Former EFF deputy leader Floyd Shivambu, former public protector Busisi Mkwabane, as well as advocate Dalim Pofu left the Red Berets to join MK party. MK party is now the third largest party with only less than a year of being launched. During the podcast, Malema mentioned that before the May 29, 2024 elections, the EFF and other opposition parties were called in Zuma's homestead in Kandla, KwaZulu-Natal, where it was discussed that the EFF must be dissolved and form part of the MK party. Malema said he didn't attend the meeting, but sent some of his then senior members to attend the meeting. Dali went to make a presentation in that first meeting where he said the EFF must shut down with the other parties and then form something under Zuma's leadership, said Malema. Last week, Friday, Malema spoke to the media during President Duma Boko's inauguration ceremony in Botswana, addressing the status of his relationship with Zuma. I don't have any relationship with President Zuma. We are political contenders. He is a leader of a political party, and I'm a leader of a political party. That's where our relationship starts and ends. Where we agree on issues, we will share a common perspective. Where we disagree, we will disagree respectively so, he said. Malema affirmed that the EFF will not fall apart, not under their watch. You cannot destroy that which you have not built. It can't fall apart. It's our own child. It's our baby, and we'll decide what we do with it. The EFF is the future, and it cannot be destabilized by opportunism, he added. The EFF is preparing for its elective conference next month. And that's it from Egypt's network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.